Hey there, y'all. I am here with a WINWBTM this month. That is what I never wore before this month. It is August 2016 and it's really noisy in here. I apologize. I have a fan going. I have laundry going. I am in the middle of Fleamageddon at my house. I'm trapped in my kitchen. It's really hot in here. Why not make some videos? What I wore this month. Today is really trying to kill me. What I wore this month, I don't have any fun photos for you because nothing really exciting happened this month except that my period was late. It was extremely long and unpredictable and annoying. But I did receive, as you probably noted, a lot of fluffy mail earlier this month. So I had a lot of new things to try, so I decided, well, let's just go for it. I'm gonna try and use only things that I have never used before. And this was kind of exciting and also a little bit stressful because a lot of things that I have that I haven't used, it's because as soon as I received them, I knew they weren't gonna work ideally for me. Or, you know, I ordered something and then when I was very new at this and then realized it was too short, etc. And I barely had enough new stuff. I have a lot of stuff to wear exclusively new things this month. But it was kind of an interesting experiment. I hope that I don't plan on buying enough stuff for this to be possible again. I don't know if it is a great strategy for dressing yourself during your period because it led to some problems, some uncomfortable, embarrassing situations. So let's get to it. The only thing that I used this month that I had used before is my large TARDIS dry bag, wet bag. What are we calling these things? Wet bags? It's been a long day already. And I love this, and it's also the only large wet bag that I have. Definitely still use this. Otherwise, absolutely everything I'm going to show you, I had never used before this week. Accessories. In addition to my big wet bag, I used several pad pouches. This one by Red Rhodes Cloth, these two by Krabby Patties, and this one, I can't remember, I got it in the monthly mashup in May. I'm sorry, I did use that as well. I also used cup spots, these two that I made myself, and this snap up cup spot from Krabby Patties. Period was super late, really like dramatically late by tracking both my apps. So first I'm going to show you the things that I thought were going to get used and then didn't. I used, when I first started spotting, I used this 7-inch cotton velour fleece back liner by Essence of Eve and this 10-inch front bleeder cotton top fleece back by Pad Thai. But I was basically just spotting. Same the next day when I wore this knit top fleece back 8-inch liner by Ragamuffin and this 11-inch moderate absorbency peak top WinPro back Freddy Krueger pad, also by Ragamuffin. But still not much was happening. It was pretty frustrating. It was Monday morning and I had to go to work out and to work. And so to work out, I wore this 10-inch moderate peak top WinPro back by Between the Toes Cloth. And it is, of course, Olenna Tyrell from Game of Thrones with my never before used large Lena Special Edition Turquoise cup. In general, I had a lot of problems with cups this month, but I do really like this cup after this month. Then I went to work and I wore the cup with this knit top WinPro back 10-inch moderate by Gator Cloth. And this is a moderate pad when I would have normally used a liner with this cup, but I'm really glad that I just really wanted to wear her because I did experience a leak while I was at work with that. So then I switched to this 10-inch moderate minky top peanuts print WinPro back by Ragamuffin cloth. But again, it had basically started and stopped again, as was the theme of several days. Tuesday morning, it looked like I would have nothing happening, so I decided to try this 10-inch moderate cotton top WinPro back from Fig Leaves Pads, because I know that this is not an ideal shape for me, but I do love the Halloween print. I thought nothing was gonna happen with my period since it had been so light. That was not the case. I absolutely murdered these pumpkins, but they held up quite well. And at that time, I knew that this was gonna be an extremely rough period, because I was starting to feel nauseous and it was just awful. So I went home from work and I put on this 12-inch heavy pad peak top WinPro back. Love the color of this one, from Ragamuffin. Completely destroyed this within a couple of hours, and therefore had to wear, don't act too shocked, this 12-inch heavy pad that I made. Yes. When I started my cloth journey, I intended completely to make all of my own pads out of upcycled materials, and it was going to be a great money saver. And isn't that the most hilarious thing you ever heard now? This is a cotton top, denim back, and the core is, I think, an old towel, some terry maybe. It's stiff, it's thick. But it worked, and I had never worn it before, so it fit the rules. Oh, I had horrible dreams that night, so I let myself sleep in instead of work out. And I went to work, and I decided to try my Lily Cup B of the super soft silicone, and I wore it with this 10-inch peak top WinPro back moderate by Between the Toes cloth of Michonne from The Walking Dead. And yet again, I had a leak. I just think I've been too rushed this month. I'm not sure. And frankly, I was in too much of a rush to get to class to even deal with it. So I just took that out at work and switched to this 10-inch heavy front bleeder style cotton top fleece back by Sugar and Spice Pads. And this is a pad that I just got to use as a tester. And I have to say, this pad got absolutely murdered, and it held up really well. It is a little bit structured and thick, but let me tell you something, it was magnificent, and I absolutely will order more of this pattern from Tori at Sugar and Spice. After class, I tried to use the Lily Cup again, and I had literally instant cramps. So I just don't know if I was feeling so bad that day. I definitely want to try this cup again, but it was disappointing. So I took it out after only like 30 minutes, and basically at that point I was just a massacre. It was utter destruction happening. I had this in my purse. I wore this 11.5-inch moderate front bleeder pad from Green Your Cycle cotton top WinPro back that I got in the May monthly mashup, and I wore it with this OBV interlabial pad from Between the Toes cloth, and that made it like an hour, I don't even know. I went home, and I was so sick. I had horrible cramps and nausea, so I put on something pretty to hopefully make me feel better, this 10-inch moderate peak top WinPro back by Gator Cloth with this OBV IL pad again from Between the Toes cloth. And this is where I was running into some problems with trying to use only new pads, because I have a lot of moderate pads and not a lot of heavy pads that I had not worn. And so I ended up using a lot more pads using the moderates, but this moderate held up so well. Both of the Gator Cloth dids actually really well, considering the apocalypse that was happening in my pants. and I was just done with it. At night, I put on this 13-inch heavy minky top WinPro back by Ragamuffin. Oops. Oh, sorry, sister. I'm in love with this pad. Cole, absolutely. We'll talk about that more later. Thursday morning, I still basically just want to die. What the hell is happening with my period? I wore, just while I drank my coffee, this 9-inch moderate cotton top flannel back by Prairie Valley Cloth. For work, I wore my Lena cup again, my large Lena cup, and this crushed velvet fleece back 8.5-inch moderate by Sewn by Beck, which was just a nice cozy way to start the day. And things started to look better, I thought, but then I had a leak again. I don't think this is the problem with these cups. I think I was in such a rush and feeling so badly. I don't know, I just had a difficult time with cups this month. So I switched to this cotton top fleece back 10-inch moderate from Pad Thai Cloth, which is so pretty. And basically after only like an hour and a half, my body was just so aggravated from all the adjusting I was doing with the cup that I just took it out and wore this pad by itself. But I still was having a surprising amount of blood, and I guess because I spotted for so many days that this period just feels eternal. And then I went to the grocery store and over to a friend's house for dinner, and I wore this. I don't remember how long this pad is. Hold on. 10.5-inch cotton top fleece back by Red Tag Badge Rags. I think I have worn this pad before, but I didn't see it in any of my What I Wore This Month videos, so maybe I just did a trial run with it, but I loved it, and that's by Amber at Red Tag Badge Rags. I mean, it's awesome. I will definitely be contacting her again. And that night, okay, so y'all do not laugh, okay? All right. I bought this pad in a D-stash, and I had every intention of cutting it to shorten it because I just loved this Neko Atsume knit peak top, and it does have WinPro on the back. This is a 17-inch heavy by Phoenix Rising Reusables, and I had every intention of actually like chopping it off at like 15 inches or maybe even 14 inches, which is a really nice length for me. But since I hadn't done that yet, I went ahead and wore it full on, and I mean, it actually wasn't uncomfortable. I thought it would really feel like I was wearing a diaper. It was certainly noticeably long and unnecessarily long for me, but it didn't bother me a lot. But I still think I probably will shorten this a little bit to a more manageable length. But wow, that is most definitely the longest pad that I have seen in person. Friday morning, I still have my period. I wore this 11-inch. I still had my period on Friday morning. I don't even know what number of day this is. I wore this 11-inch moderate front bleeder knit top with, ooh, I love this blue WinPro on the back by Royal Maze Fluff. I really thought surely it was over. I put on this 10-inch moderate peak top WinPro back Game of Thrones pad by Between the Toes Cloth, and still I'm slaughtering these pads. So I was at work and I didn't even have an IL pad or anything with me, so I actually used this Cup Spot by Krabby Patties, and I kind of made it into a makeshift IL pad, and it was actually less uncomfortable than you would think, although obviously not ideal. But red thank you, because this saved my working life that day because I did not have any more pads or anything else at work. So I rushed home and switched into this 10-inch cotton top WinPro Back Moderate by Leak Freak that I just recently got in a D-stash. Gosh, I think there's still a shadow stain there. I stained this really bad and I had to stain treat it like 3 times. I don't care, I still love it. This one is gonna go to live, of course, on the sailboat. I love that print. Finally. It was pretty much done, and so Saturday morning I wore this 8-inch knit top, knit back liner by Ragamuffin, and that was finally it. And I mean, seriously, it was a solid week. It was the most epically annoying period ever, during which time I used $24 pads, 2 cups, and 2, kind of 3 IL pads. That was a doozy. So that's what I never wore before this month for August 2016. Thank you, as always, for sticking around and watching me ramble and listen to me talk about whatever. I will absolutely see you soon. Thanks for watching.